Hello there friend, and welcome back to my channel, Blue Nose Trading. My name is Tori Solis, and today I'm going to be sculpting and glazing a goldfish jar. The base for this sculpture is a closed form jar that I threw and trimmed on the wheel a few weeks back. Today I'm working with white stoneware from my local ceramic shop, Trinity Ceramics in Dallas. This is one of my favorite and standard clay bodies to work with. It fires to a soft warm buff and handles all of my glazes very well. I've made a few goldfish jars before. The first one I made was featured in my video exploring throwing closed forms a good while back. I'll tag that video here for anyone who's interested. Anyway, this goldfish jar is a further iteration of the concept as it progresses. I've learned from past jars and developed new ideas and strategies in my process of making these. Each gill, eye, and fin are carefully hand sculpted and attached to the jar using a slipping and scoring technique. The score and slip act like a glue to firmly attach the piece to the jar. To keep the jar soft enough to work with, I store them in a wet, damp box after trimming them. This helps them soften up after trimming and keeps them soft until I'm ready to sculpt with them. If you'd like to learn how to make a damp box, I made this really nifty video that you can find here. Goldfish are some of the best fish in my opinion. And I've kept almost every fish there is to reasonably keep in one capacity or another. Fancy goldfish are so stinking adorable. I've never kept standard goldfish, honestly. They get much too large for anything that I've had access to. I've kept standard goldfish as they were small, but the stores generally keep them as feeders, so the relationship I had with them wasn't as great. Fancy goldfish are all a bit disabled in their own ways compared to their standard counterparts. They don't swim as well, and they generally have really big eyes and short bodies. They're selectively bred to be pets, much like different dog breeds. If provided the proper aquarium and care as they are intended to have, they can live long, healthy, and happy lives. One of my favorite characteristics of fancy goldfish is their general amiable nature. In my experience, I've hardly ever had drama in my goldfish tanks. Now, I'm sure someone out there has had a malevolent goldfish that is out for blood, but that just has never been my experience. Every time I've ever added a new goldfish to a tank, it was always, "Howdy, how are ya? Happy to see ya." The friendly, low-drama, easygoing vibe in a goldfish tank makes them one of my favorite fish to keep. But I think it often gets overlooked how dirty these fish tend to be. You need a lot of water per fish. I personally feel that you need about 25 gallons per full-grown fancy goldfish. This is mostly just to dilute the accounted ammonia that the fish is going to produce. The filter will also need to be strong in biofiltration media to process the higher ammonia outputs. Goldfish have a very ineffective digestive system. It's a very short system, and most of what goes in comes right out, more or less the same. This is why they re-eat their waste. Running it through their system multiple times allows their short little systems to absorb more nutrients. The size and efficiency of your filtration can change how many fish you can have overall. With a crazy excellent filtration, you might be able to keep a larger number of fish, let's say maybe 4, in a 55 gallon. There are a lot of factors and a lot more opinions. In general, it's always general best practice to over-filter and give your fish as much space as you can manage. Who wouldn't want a big, clean house? That said, you should ideally have at least 2 goldfish. They are social and seem to appreciate having a companion. A big house just isn't a home without a friend. I have a new Stroke and Coat orange color to try out on this goldfish. The color is called Cantaloupe. I didn't make a test tile like a good noodle, but I trust the tiles from my ceramic supply shop, so it should be alright. The orange should be a slightly lighter orange than my other orange appeal glaze. This line of glazes tends to be more or less stable as long as you don't overlap things too much. The reliability of color is something I like about using these Mako Stroke and Coat glazes for my animal jars. But I might try some different underglazes in the future just to keep it fresh and spicy around here. This goldfish is going to be glazed in a Calico pattern. This is one of my favorite patterns to make. Each one is so unique and I can just let the spots and splotches fall how they will. I'm using 4 different colors for this goldfish jar: Cottontail, Orange Appeal, Tuxedo, and the new glaze Cantaloupe. This goldfish jar turned out just perfect. I really love how the 2 oranges look together. I'm getting much better at controlling the thickness of the glaze in my application, and I'm getting the coverage and the colors and the patterns that I'm looking for, and that's a great feeling when everything just kind of works out how you were expecting it to. That doesn't always happen, and I share those videos too, but this time, it's a win, guys. As of posting this video to Patreon, this fancy goldfish jar is currently available on my website, bluenosetrading.com. If you're watching this on the YouTube release, I have no idea if this jar is still there because you are in the future. If you'd like to get early access to all my videos so you can see what I'm making in the more or less present, consider becoming a supporter of my work at patreon.com/bluenosetrading. Patrons get early access to my work and also help to fund the next videos, projects, and adventures. If you'd like to see weekly art videos and daily art shorts, be sure to subscribe to my channel, Blue Nose Trading on YouTube. Remember that you are important, you have great ideas, drink lots of water, and I will see y'all next week.